This is the Wicker Stitch. It's a 2-row repeat worked on a multiple of 2 stitches, and for this sample I added 2 extra stitches, one on each side just as an edge stitch. You can add more stitches if you want a wider border, like a seed stitch border or a garter stitch border. It's up to you. I'm going to work my first edge stitch, get that out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to begin the stitch pattern, and what you're going to be doing for row 1 is you're going to be working the second stitch first and then the first stitch before you drop them both off the left needle. And you're going to be knitting through the back loops of the stitches, not the front as you normally would. So go in through the back loop of the second stitch on your needle and knit. Leave it on your needle and then knit through the back loop of the first stitch on your needle and then drop them both off at the same time. In through the back loop of the second stitch, in through the back loop of the first stitch, drop them both off the needle at the same time. And sometimes it can be a little tricky getting your needle through the back loop on the first stitch. So what you could do is put the tip of your right needle in through the front like you're going to purl, but then just swing it over the top of the left needle so that you're in the back in position to knit. And it's a little bit easier to grab that yarn and make your stitch. And you would just do that all the way across your row. Let me show you how you get to the back, the little tip in the front like you're going to purl, swing over the top of that left needle and then grab your yarn. It's really helpful if you're a tight knitter. I think I'm a little bit inconsistent in my knitting. Some of my stitches are looser than the others, so sometimes I'm able to just go right in through the back and grab the stitch. Sometimes I have to do that little trick of going in through the front first. Whoops. There we go. Okay, last 2 stitches. And then, like I said, I have added 1 stitch here just for the edge, and I'm just going to knit it. Alright, for the second row, let me knit my edge stitch here. The second row you're going to start by purling 1. And then what you're going to be doing, you're going to purl the second stitch first, leave it on the left needle, and then purl the first stitch and slide them both off the needle at the same time. So grab your second stitch here, just purl as you normally would, but leave it on the left needle, and then grab your first stitch, purl as you normally would, and then drop them both off the left needle. So what you're doing by working the second stitch first is you're twisting the stitches. So that is what gives the fabric the woven appearance. Purl your second stitch, purl the first stitch, drop them both off the left needle. And then you would continue doing that, and then when you have one stitch left, not including any edge stitches that you might have added, you would just purl that one last stitch. So I have 2 stitches left. This one is my edge stitch. So this would make this stitch here the last stitch of the pattern repeat, so I'm just going to purl it. And then this is my edge. That is a wicker stitch.